going to be seeing is the story of a teacher who was listening and observing what was happening in front of her. And I set out to create tangible solutions to address it so you have something to use. We need tools to address this. So anticipating what was going to be happening, we were fooling around as a social scientist will do and go, hey, let's try this, let's try that. So we found something that works. And what happened was the students who participated in this said, oh my God, my life is so much better, I feel so much better. You need to write a book. So I'm like, I'm gonna write a book. So I did, I'm writing a book, you know. And then halfway through writing the book, they're like, no, we don't read, you need to do a film. So I'm like, I'm gonna kill you all. So again, the little system we came up with, number one, honesty. So bringing the stats, being able to say, here's what we know now, you know, did you know that it's actually the people at Silicon Valley are making it so it's addictive? They get very pissed at that. Do you guys feel used? Yeah. Oh my God. So then they get very empowered to take on, you know. And then the boundaries. What in the world today, other than the air that we breathe, doesn't come with some kind of boundary? And it's our use of our smartphones. Nobody's saying it ends at this time, TV turns off. Remember back in the day, it just was like, I guess it's over. But with the internet, right? Remember that old commercial that was like, I'm done surfing the internet. There is no done. There's no done. So we have to implement our own boundaries. Every school, every family, we all have our own sort of family culture or school culture, but we can say, you know what? There's got to be limits to this 24/7 behavior. There has to be limits. What do we want them to be? And I've worked with schools where we empower the kids. We go, okay, this is what's happening in your life. This is what's going to happen with you. Blah, 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 you know, what do you want your future to be? And they end up doing the rules that are tougher than any teacher would ever implement. And they end up going like, yeah, these are our rules. This is us, because, you know, yeah, because we want to be able to have relationships and be able to talk. So they are empowered then to create the protocol for the school. And then, you know, the last step is the protocol. So every school, with your boundaries and your protocol, you can come up with your rules. So the problem has a name, okay? That's the other thing, is we can start to identify the problem. The problem is called digital socialization. This will now stop you from having the technology as either good or bad. That is what we call an unproductive conversation, correct? My communication people here, right? So that's where we are right now as a society. People are going, oh, well, technology, but I like it. It's good. Technology's good, right? So this is the paradox that we're stuck in. So technology is so broad. You know, my father has a pacemaker. I love technology, right? That's technology. But we haven't yet given this problem a word. And I remember a student came to me 5 years ago when we were finishing this. And she's like, this problem is so big and it doesn't have a name. And I'm like, well, let's name it. Let's name it. So let's identify the problem here is what we're referring to as digital socialization. This means this is a generation of human beings who were socialized through a digital realm, who were socialized to have their needs and attention met by seeking an audience, as you were saying, seeking an audience, not you, to hear my problems and look me in the eye. We literally told them, go out there, get your friends. It's easy, you click, and then you have a friend. think of the incongruency in a kid's mind. When you say the word friend, it's a warm, fuzzy word, right? Oh, my friend, my dear friend. And then in 2006, Mark Zuckerberg made it a verb. You know? We did 8 weeks before they did the digital cleanse. So I introduced the idea, and of course everyone's like, oh, you suck, ugh, I'm not doing it. And you're like, great, okay, you don't have to do it. But did you know what you need as a human being? So then we go, are you curious about yourself? Do you know if you're addicted? And then after 8 weeks of doing basic, fundamental re-education of Human 101, these are the needs that I have. This is how my needs are fulfilled. I can really only feel fulfilled and understood with an empathetic connection with another human being. If you notice, I got John Mayer in there, right? Because if a psychologist who's 80 years old going, kids should do this, no, John Mayer did this thing. It's like kind of cool, John Mayer did this. Maybe I'll try that, right? If you have other kids saying, this was cool, this made me feel better, and it's not coming from an adult, and kids can relate, it's a peer-to-peer narrative, so they're all going, oh, that's me. Yeah, I'm like, I can't tell you, that's not an anomaly. A kid who cannot pick up the phone to call for pizza, no longer an anomaly. She's not, anybody know of any kids, right? You get, right? You're going, that's crazy. No, they were socialized differently. So we go through basic Human 101 communication needs. We forget we actually need to re-educate our kids. And trust your gut. You know the truth. Do not let the mass-mediated messages of you need a phone, you need a thing, to get that feeling. I remember my mentor, he's still my mentor today, psychologist, and Dr. Stephen Freilich. I'll never forget these words. And I had a kid start crying in class one time. People do a lot for a feeling. And then you ask your kids, what do you do for a feeling? What are some of the things that you do that aren't so good for you, but you do it for a feeling? And they get very upset, and they're like, oh, I had one girl literally like start crying. Because they're thinking about some of the things that we do. So to be able to say, sometimes we do things for a feeling, and some of those things that we do are really actually not very healthy for us. So what can we do and we've all done it. We eat too much, we drink too much, we do a lot for a feeling. And then we also know at some point we go, I gotta get healthy. You know, we do no chocolate for a month, or I'm not gonna do that, or I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna eat a kale salad every day. That's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be my health thing. So I kind of like to use the No Afterlife Challenge as the kale salad of the digital age, because if we get away from don't do this to, you know what, if you eat this, you will feel better. If you sit with somebody and you take turns listening to each other and feeling like you're heard, even if you do it with your best friend, without any technology, try it. It actually feels really good. And they're like, and you're like, and you do really feel like they need the out. And the misconceptions, let me let you know, a secret. They hate their phones. They hate them. And they feel like, I hate it, but I have to have it.